When people think about PSVR2 games, they usually think about big titles like Gran Turismo 7, Horizon Call of the Mountain, Arcane Age, and so on. But every once in a while, there's a smaller game that comes along and gets overlooked, and when you actually play it, it surprises you. That is exactly what Rainbow Reactor Fusion Remastered does. At first glance, it looks like a simple colorful match 3 puzzle game where you throw glowing energy balls into giant machines. But once you actually start playing, you realize there's a bit more here than expected. So let's jump into the review and make sure to hit that like and subscribe button to stay updated on future content.
Hello human, welcome to the Rainbow Reactor. My name is Dottie. I'm in charge of running this place, or rather, what's left of it.
Rainbow Reactor Fusion takes place inside a strange, abandoned facility called the Rainbow Reactor, a massive energy plant that once supposedly produced the cleanest power source ever created, called Rainbow Energy. The reactor was owned by an eccentric scientist named Alfred Lucian von Hoffen-Hasselbrock. At some point, everything went wrong. When you arrive, you'll see that the facility is partially shut down, dirty, damaged, and filled with malfunctioning systems. Thankfully, you're not completely alone. You're guided by a robotic companion named Dottie, who acts as your sarcastic AI assistant throughout the game. As you explore deeper into the facility, you slowly uncover what happened to the reactor, why the systems failed, and what became of Alfred himself. Your main goal in the game is to get the Rainbow Reactor back up and running, and this is done by completing 9 reactor puzzles. But you'll also need to explore the reactor to unlock new areas and puzzles. Let's start off with the actual puzzle gameplay. Once you start up a reactor, you will see a grid appear, and some colored energy balls are already inside the grid. You now have to connect at least 3 of the same color to create a reaction. The more you connect, the higher your score. The way this is done is by grabbing an energy ball and throwing it into the grid with the matching colors. And I have to say this here, but the throwing mechanics work fantastic. The balls roll down from the left and right side rails. Now you have to create the required amount of reactions in order to complete the reactor. For each reactor, you only have a certain amount of strikes, and if you get too many strikes, you will fail and have to restart the reactor. Strikes are given when you drop a ball, when it falls outside of the grid, or when you create a bad mixed color. The further you progress, the more colors you will have on the grid, and this forces you to think a little bit ahead about your next move. Sometimes there are colors on the grid that will not come down the rail, so you have to mix and match colors. This is done by grabbing 2 balls and pushing them together. If you're not sure what color it will create, you can just hold both balls close together and the game will show you the result. This adds a nice strategic element to the game. But remember, new balls will continue to spawn, so be quick and do not let them drop. Did I also mention that there are residue balls that can randomly drop from the back into the grid? Nope. Well, there are. These balls randomly bounce around inside the grid, and you should remove them as quickly as possible, because they take up space and can potentially knock other balls out of the grid, causing you to get a strike. If you are struggling with a reactor, you can also buy modifiers at the gift shop. You can purchase ball holders that catch the balls coming down the rail, or get more strikes per reactor. These make the reactor easier, but you will also get fewer points. You can also buy modifiers that give you more points, but make the game harder, like insta-fail, where one mistake causes you to lose instantly, or modifiers like only 3 strikes, faster balls, and more. You can choose which modifiers you want to use for each reactor. Now let's talk about the exploration part of the game. Outside of the arcade gameplay, the story mode slows things down a little, with exploration sections inside the reactor facility. You'll move through different areas, repair systems, unlock machinery, and learn more about what happened to the abandoned energy plant. Your robot companion Dottie guides you through most of the experience and adds personality to the quieter moments. Throughout the reactor, you will find fuses. With these fuses, you can activate the museum tour boards that are scattered throughout the facility. The videos displayed are pretty sarcastic and funny. There are also paint splatters all over the reactor, and you are tasked with cleaning them up. You can do that with a broom, or later with a steam gun for those hard to reach spots, which you can get from the gift shop. Make sure to clean it all up. You also get an axe to clear boxes, which was a little bit annoying at times, and a wrench to unlock new areas, hidden boxes, and the museum tour board fuse boxes. Then there's arcade mode, which is where the game really becomes all about skill and score chasing. The better you get at throwing accurately, managing colors, and reacting quickly, the more addictive the gameplay becomes. Try your best on the leaderboards. There's also a platinum trophy available, which is fun and fairly easy to get. Haptics are included, and all the comfort settings you need are available as well. Overall, the gameplay was very enjoyable and fun. Short, but sweet. Graphically, the game looks decent, running unreprojected at 90 frames per second, ensuring smooth and responsive gameplay, and the resolution is good and clear. Some textures do look a little low res and outdated though. The actual puzzle grid looks pretty good, with the colors really popping and the effects are all nice to look at. The biggest upgrade, however, is the lighting, which has been massively improved from the previous versions. Quick note here, if you are colorblind, there is also an extra colorblind mode available. The sound design is another area where the game does a solid job supporting the gameplay loop. All the different areas have matching ambient sounds, all interactions give sound feedback, and the voice acting from Dottie and the museum board videos is fun and well done. The soundtrack is upbeat and energetic. Little cool side note, the professor you see in the videos is actually voiced and acted by Calamax himself, the developer. He also made the soundtrack for the game. Rainbow Reactor Fusion is a short but sweet experience that surprised me with some great throwing mechanics and overall fun puzzle gameplay. Seeing the Rainbow Reactor come back to life is pretty cool, and the story gives a nice sense of progression. The soundtrack and humor are fun, and the visuals are decent. It's a perfect game for anybody who is looking for a light casual VR experience without too much stress. Of course, you can also go for high scores on the leaderboard, so all the score hunters get their fair share too. The Platinum Trophy is also fun and fairly easy to achieve. Overall, I was pleasantly surprised by the game and the amount of polish it had, so here are my final scores. Replayability, 3.5 out of 5 stars. Gameplay, 4 out of 5 stars. Graphics, 3.5 out of 5 stars. Sound, 4 out of 5 stars. Each star equals 0.5 points with a total of 10 points possible. A total of 15 stars results in a final score of 7.5 out of 10. Have you already played Rainbow Reactor Fusion, or have you overlooked this title? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Make sure to like and subscribe to stay updated for future content. Thanks for watching, and until next time, the Gaming Alvin.